Hello.
Oh, okay, this guy is not Allahu Akbar. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, CP?
I'm all right.
Yeah, cool. Well, listen, mate, I've been listening to you over the past couple of days, and I just wanted you to, show me how like false Islam is, because I'm on the fence right now.
You are on the fence?
I'm on the fence. I'm in between, like continuing on or not to continue, and I'm not sure.
So you are a Muslim now?
I don't want to say.
Why you don't say? Come on, share with us, so I will know I'm talking to what is your religion now? You are a Muslim right now, right?
Well, let's just say that
Okay,
I'm on the fence.
okay. You see, I advise you to stay as a Muslim, because only the true God, he promised us to have a lot of women for sex. I mean, obvious.
Okay.
Because God must be coming from Las Vegas. Only true God can do that. And not only that, I mean, this God, he have a very special prescription for you. I mean, he promised you even that your penis will never go limp. I mean, that's amazing. This God, he think about us in every details, and he don't want your penis to go sleep. What do you think about that, my friend?
Well, listen, I mean, this is the exact thing that it doesn't sit quite well with me. I mean, I've been reading a couple of the hadiths and the Quran and all that, but again, I mean, just because of peer pressure, I haven't said anything. I don't want to, I don't want to cause like a conflict in my family.
My friend, let me ask you a question. Do you like child abuse?
No, of course not.
Okay, the God of Islam, which is supposed to your God, he promised you in the heaven that you will have little boys, according to Muslim, to serve you. Are you going to be happy to have a lot of boys who they will be your servant for eternity? Is that something really?
Not.
Okay,
no,
so what is the ethic in here? Shouldn't we discuss the ethic of this God? Because a God with good ethic, he will not let me, just because I prayed for him 5 times and I accept to say shahada, then he will abuse little children and he will make them my slaves for eternity. What is justice in that? Can't he make me happy without abusing someone else?
Correct.
So this is cannot be from God. I mean, you do not need to be like a genius to fire it out. I mean, this is a guy, he is promising me women who I never met, children who I never have, they are not even my children, and they will serve me for eternity. The woman, she will take off her panty, and the child, he will serve me supposedly according to Muslims claiming, but doesn't make sense for me, because the Quran says la yanzifun, which means they will not bleed. So what kind of God to make one person happy, he abused tens of thousands?
Correct. I understand. I can see that the logic is a bit perverted. I understand that.
And same time, why those boys, they have to be very white? Why they are white? Simply, Muhammad is trying to speak to the sexual desire of the Arab. Those boys are not really going to be servants. You see here the Muslim translation, I don't know if you can see my screen, in chapter 37.
Sorry, you mean like white as in color?
Yeah, they will be white like pearls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Quran
that
says,
automatically sounds a little bit racist. I mean,
yeah, they will be literally like pearls. You know, it says here in front of you. Did you see it says? And,
oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
You see, even like here they say abyadun maknoon, but the fact they put the word eggs. They say to you, because eggs are very white, right?
Correct.
Okay, so they say to you, they are like the same as an eggs, which is closely guarded, and which means they have a very soft skin. They have, even Allah in the hadith says, Allah, he will soften their skin. He would take him 1,000 years to soften their skin.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And this is telling us what kind of God is God. I mean, you just go and buy some Nivea, and that will fix the issue if you have a problem. And why you don't create them right away? They are with soft skin.
True.
So everything in this cult is stupid and crazy. Even Muhammad,
Muhammad,
he said,
I can't say this out aloud because I don't want to cause as I said before, a huge friction in my family.
Well, my friend, your family, but here we talk about You know, we have to be smart. I don't want to say something to offend you, but we have to be smart. Okay, if my family believe in something stupid, should I be stupid too?
No, of course not. Of course
Okay,
not.
so here we go. Look in front of me. The Prophet, he said here, and this is Sahih Bukhari, this is Sahih Hadith, that Allah will marry you to women who have no jealousy. Okay.
Okay.
If we read in Arabic,
I have no idea about Arabic.
yeah, well, we go to the English then. It says, to make it simple, that Allah will give you women who they are so beautiful, and the beauty of them is not a beauty, normal beauty, is a beauty of making you sick, because the Arab, they like women who they are so white. So Muhammad here, he's promising the Arab, he knew what they like. He himself, he liked very white women. So he promised them women who they are transparent. So they are white to the point they are transparent. And you can see the marrow of their bones of their legs. This is how, and even seen through the bones of their flesh. So Muhammad here, if this is a promise of God, why God promising me women they are so white to the point we can see the marrow of their bones, unless he is racist? What's wrong if I have a woman with darker skin in heaven?
True.
Why the beauty in Islam is about very white to the point became disgusting? Because you know, when you say to me that those women they are so white to the point they are transparent, you are confirming to me one thing, that this God, he considered the beauty is the beauty of such a woman. Any other woman, she is not beautiful. And you know, if you look at the description Muhammad trying to provide to us, we will find that this is even sick. Because let me show you how the women look like according to Muhammad heaven.
Okay.
Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is exactly what the heaven of Allah is. This is the women you will have in heaven. This is God.
Oh no, no. Okay. It's just too much. Yeah. And
Yeah.
but listen, I mean, this is where the whole Islam thing doesn't sit well with me, and like internally, because I know it revolves around too much bodily pleasures, and I don't know. It's just very. I understand the whole praying thing, even though I don't subscribe to that as much. But I mean, I understand that through prayer we can reach God and we can reach Allah. But this is where it loses me from, you know, from the sex stuff and onwards. It completely loses me.
My friend, it's not, there is no prayer in Islam you are reaching Allah. This is a joke, because a Muslim, he fast, he pray, he do jihad just to get the women who you can see through. You see, when I say to you the reward, if you do this, the reward is this. It's mean if you do that, this is the purpose. This is the purpose. You see, when they ask Jesus about what you will have in heaven, what he and she, like a woman, she get married from a first husband, then she married the second one after he died. So who is going to have her? Jesus said to them, he and she, they will not get married. They will be the same as angels. So your reward have nothing to do. The reward you have in the heaven is not physical, is not sexual. It's just being with God, happy, a different kind of happiness. But in the religion of Islam, why you do righteousness? Because you want to get the women. Why you want to do jihad? Because if you do jihad, you get more women. Why you want to join Al-Qaeda? Because that will make you increase in the level in the eye of Allah. If you became a martyr, if you the second your blood is shed according to Muhammad, right away all your sin is forgiven, and Allah grant you a high rank in the heaven. So the Muslims, they are not really serving Allah, they are serving themselves. The purpose is to get those women, the virgins. This is why if you see Al-Qaeda tapes, they are trying, they don't say to them, you know, we are going to do jihad for. No, they say to them, brother, the hur will come to you and they will fight over you. One will be kissing your lips, one will be kissing your neck, one is going to kiss your belly bum, and you know, like he continues speaking filthy, dirty language. So why he is saying that before the battle? Because he wants you not to think about your death. He wants you to go and die. Just go. And now you are not dying really for the sake of Allah. You are dying for the sake of your penis.
True. True.
So if Muhammad really is a prophet of God, what is God in his religion? Where is this God? I want to see this God. Otherwise, I see beautiful naked women, and not only that, Muhammad, he promised you that he will import certain kind of women who they are prostitute, who they are their specialty is sex, who they are. Allah will take them from heaven.
But isn't prostitution a sin in Islam?
No, who said that? Absolutely not. Actually, Islam legalized prostitution.
No. That's like, okay, but it's still like a marriage. I'm like
no. I'm not talking about mut'a now. I'm not talking about mut'a, my friend. I'm talking about literally prostitution. Literally prostitution. The Quran speak about prostitution and say the following. I want you to read with me in the screen. I don't say things without proof. If you are following me for a while now, you should know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
This is a chapter 24 and verse number 33. It says it clearly. Force not your girls, your maid, and those are slaves girls. So notice here the prostitution have a condition. If you have a slave girl, you can use her for prostitution, but this is not for the free women. So, but force not your maids to prostitution when they desire chastity. So what is the condition? If they desire chastity, don't force them. If they don't, it's okay. All right.
Sure.
And not only that, if you force them and they don't desire chastity, Allah is all merciful. There's no punishment for a Muslim do prostitution as long as he is using his slaves. If you use a free woman, a free white woman for slavery of sex, then you will be punished. This is adultery.
Okay.
But if you use a slave woman for prostitution, this is halal.
Oh well.
Actually,
you see, this is what they've been covering, and whenever I've asked questions about all these issues, they're like, no, don't worry, and it's all for the sake of Allah, and it's all for the sake of for the belief. And I'm like, okay, be more clear about it.
There's a hadith about Aisha herself. She used to hunt men by sending a slave girl. It says Aisha شوفت جارية وطافت بها وقالت لعلنا نصطاد بها شبابا من قريش. So Aisha, she decorated, which means she put the makeup on a slave girl, and she said, and she ordered her to go around, so the young men of Quraysh, they will follow her, and she said, let us send her between them. Maybe we can hunt some men from Quraysh. So this is very normal behavior Muslims they used to do. And all the Muslims agree that Muhammad himself, he have many slaves and he sleep with them.
Okay.
But the Quran confirmed literally that you can do prostitution as long you are not forcing them. And if you force them, Allah is all forgiving or merciful. If we go right now and we see the interpretation for this verse.
Sorry, CP. We're always hearing about if our law, if Sharia law is implemented, then it will automatically ban prostitution, it will ban alcohol and all those bad vices of life. So how can on the one hand our imams say that they're going to ban prostitution, on the other hand it's halal?
Well, what Islam does, prostitution is not allowed if you're not doing it according to the Islamic rules. As an example, the Muslims, I'm understanding from your accent that you live in England, right?
I don't want to say, mate.
Okay, no problem. So they do what is called zawaj urfi. Zawaj urfi is not a really marriage. You go and supposedly you speak with a person who is supposedly a sheikh, and you say she is my wife, and you write a paper. He said, okay, your wife, go sleep together. But this marriage is not accepted, and it is practiced very wide between Muslim Sunni. If you have my book, which is called Sex and Allah, you will find how many type of marriage the Muslims they call marriage, but the fact it's nothing but a pure prostitution. As an example, there's something is called zawaj friend, which means I have a friend, I want to have sex with her. What I would do, I marry her, but she's not my wife, which means she is my wife legally, but is not the purpose to marry her. The purpose is we sleep together in the hotel every, let us say, a Thursday night. We don't live together. The purpose is sex. She is horny and I am horny. And what we will do now, okay, we go and we do zawaj friend, which mean they took it, actually they call it zawaj friend from the word girlfriend. So what the Muslim they change is girlfriend with zawaj. So she is a girlfriend to sleep with her, but yet she is a wife supposedly. There is something is called the travel marriage. You are going to go and you will be in different country, and you cannot carry your wife with you for some reason. Maybe she is too heavy. So now what you will do? Quran, Islam allow you that you can hire a woman to be your wife temporarily during the time you are traveling. This way supposedly will prevent you from doing sin. So you go to a woman, you say to her, I want to sleep with you, but you know, I'm going to stay here for 6 months. Do you have a problem with that? She say no. That's it. You do what they call marriage. So what the Muslims they do, all their marriages is not really marriages, it is a pure prostitution.
True. And also, mate, this like inherited inequality between the man and the woman. I mean, in other words, what I'm saying is that how come only a man is illegally allowed to go and do these type of marriages? Can a woman do it from her side as well? This is what it gets me.
Well, you see, both sides, Shia and Sunni, they try to defend their honor, and they try to fight over saying we are more honorable than you. But both of them, they do the amazing stupid thing. As an example, you know, if a woman she don't to have sex with her slave. Actually, there's a story of Muhammad where he heard that a Muslim woman, because you know the Quran says it's lawful for you, your wives, and your right hand possess. But Muhammad did not mention the word male or female in the verse. So Muslim women, she decide, okay, as long the verse saying you can have sex with your right hand possess, will she have slave?
Okay.
So she decided to have sex with him. When Muhammad he heard that, he ordered her to be brought, and he punished her by death. Why? Some they say by death, some they say that he lashed her, I don't know how many times, but here you see the hypocrisy of Muhammad. Why the Muslim man he can sleep with his slave female, but a Muslim woman she cannot sleep with her slave male?
Exactly.
Same time, if you read it, chapter 4 verse number 3, you will see Muhammad promoting something very evil. I don't know if you can read with me on the screen. It says,
yeah, I can.
If you fear you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphans, then go and do F2 and 3 and 4. So Muhammad is encouraging the Muslims to have sexual relationship with orphans. What kind of a prophet? He considered that it is a charity, it's a good deed to do sleep with orphan. And you know, when I say an orphan, and I'm sure your English is better than mine, I mean a child who his parents are dead, correct?
Correct, exactly.
Not an adult. If somebody in my age and your age and he have no parents left, that does not make him orphan, correct?
Correct.
So how we can have sex with orphans?
Is this valid? Is this like a sahih?
This is Quran. This is Quran, my friend. This is chapter 4 verse number 3.
Oh wow.
This is Quran. So and then he says, and if you cannot F an orphan and do justly with them, then go F2 and 3 and 4. And then if you cannot be justly, then for 1. What is the value of family? That's mean the family in Islam is not based on man and women. It's based in having as many as you can afford.
True.
You notice here, Muhammad did not say go and even the word, by the way, marry, he did not even mention it. He's saying go and if them.
Oh well, listen, CP, I don't want to bother you anymore because I know you've got like the real Abduls that they want to call. Listen, this is just like too much for me about the orphans. I'm probably going to have to declare right now my apostasy. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna choose afterwards, but for the time being, I'm gonna have to say, okay, this is enough. Once you mentioned orphans and 3 and 4 afterwards, I mean, no. So I'm sorry, this is too much for me.
All right, my friend. Well, you said you don't know what to choose after, but for me, I have a duty to invite you to accept my Lord, my Savior, the Messiah, as your Savior. and you are free to accept or to reject. But I cannot find better name than his name to invite you to, and this is the best I have for you. So are you willing to accept the Messiah as your savior?
I am willing, but allow me just to do my own research. Okay, and I'll probably call you some other time about this.
No problem, my friend. I cannot force you. This is a personal choice, and we pray that the Lord, he will open your eyes and will bring you closer to him. And you know, the Lord, he said, knock at the door and I will open for you. So all what you need to do, just knock at his door and he will be there, and you will see that there's no sex with orphans. There's no go and do this and that, and there's no boys, and there is no all madness. God is not a sex vendor. Our God is holy. His name is holy. He is holy by nature. He is holy by the fruit. For holiness bring only holiness, and dirt bring only dirt.
That's true. That's true.
So thank you for calling me, and if you change your mind about accepting the Messiah, feel free to say so anytime you wish.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, CP. And can I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, if that means anything from me?
Well, you know, to say to us Merry Christmas, this is not but now you are out of Islam, so you can say it, you know. It's haram for you to say as a, this is one of the evil thing about Islam. Why you cannot say to somebody Merry Christmas? It's haram. It's haram. It's, you know, the devil is angry. I mean, what okay, somebody having a holiday, okay, say to him, be nice to him. What's wrong? No, you cannot, you know. So this is religion. You cannot accept to be like, doesn't even have a sense of a humanity. Even the Quran says it clearly, like, you know, a Muslim once, he says, Jesus, he said, you have to hate your parents and love Jesus. But Jesus does not mean that we have to hate them, because Jesus said even love your enemy. So how we will hate our parents? Well, Jesus said you have to love me more than anything else.
I've been told that Christians are told to also reject their family as well if they want to follow Jesus Christ perfectly.
No, actually, no, this is not what you see. The Bible make it clear that if you even disobedience to your parents, the punishment is death. This is how tough the Old Testament is. So you don't reject your family, but your salvation is more important. As simple as that. If your family, they will hold you into hell, then you choose salvation over hell. As simple as that.
Yeah,
but
true. But I mean, if I become a Christian, that means that I'm going to have to reject my family, correct?
No, you don't reject anyone. That's not true. Even the Bible allowed you, if you are a person who is married to a non-Christian, stay with her, because the Bible don't want you to destroy your family and your marriage. So you became a Christian now and you have a wife, she is a Muslim. You don't divorce her, you can stay with her. The Bible is not allowing me to marry from non-Muslim, but if I was a Muslim and I marry a Muslim and then I became a Christian, then the Bible allowed me to stay in such a relationship as marriage, because simply God, he's all caring. He don't want the children to live in a chaos because of what happened. So we don't deny our family, and we don't regret them. Actually, the Quran says that. If we go in the Quran in chapter 9 verse number 23, it says clearly that you cannot take your father and your brother as protectors or friends as long they are not believers. And this is the same for the Christian, chapter 5 verse number 51. But this one, as long as we are talking about family, we will go to chapter 9 verse number 23, and I will show it to you in the screen in front of your eyes. Do you see it?
It's in Arabic. I can't understand Arabic.
Yeah, it's in English now.
Oh yeah.
You see it?
Yep.
The translation here says protector, but in fact it's protector and friend. And by the way, protector is someone is more than a friend, because somebody want to protect you, not necessarily every friend protect you, correct?
True.
A protector is someone he love you more than someone he is just a friend, because you might have a fight and you look around you, all your friends do not know you. Okay, I don't have no idea. I know, okay, I'll go. They close your eyes and they don't know, you know. But a protector is someone for sure he is willing to risk his life to defend you. So this is more than a friend. So
true.
You cannot take your parents as a friend. You cannot take your father. You cannot take your, you know, your brother. This I'm talking about your brother from your blood.
True.
So the Muslims, they try to say we are the one who doing it, but you have to show me an example. Isn't it Jesus? He said, love your enemy. How Jesus says, love your enemy, bless those who curse you, and then at the same time says to me, hate your family. So you have to take the teaching into what it's meant. So
True.
you have to hate the whole world in the meaning of you don't favor earth and the word over God. This is what salvation is about. You choose to be with God. It's very easy for me and you to be tempted and to do the wrong thing. So if we choose the temptation, we lose. If we choose the right thing, we win. So
yeah,
if you get tempted by even family, because your mother, she's a Muslim, okay, but you love your mother, so what I will do now? And if I leave this religion, my mother might be angry for me, or even maybe she would hate me.
Of course, yeah.
So now you have to choose which one is more favorite for you. The Bible is so clear that God is more important than all, but at the same time the Bible is clear that you have to obey your parents, but you obey them in what is right and lawful, not in the wrong. Like, what if my parents order me to go and kill somebody?
No.
What if my parents order me to go and be a thief or to do work as a prostitute? So I obey my parents if they are righteous people. Same time, I love everybody, not only my parents, everybody around me, because Jesus, he ordered us to love everyone and even to bless those who curse us.
Hey, so, CP, when you say Jesus, you mean like Isa, right? From the Quran?
There's nothing it's called the Isa. Isa is a lie. There's nothing. We don't even know where Isa is coming from. If we ask the Muslims who's Isa, they don't know. What Isa mean?
But isn't Isa Jesus? Isn't he the same?
They say, they claim, but I mean, who is Isa? But obviously Isa is the Quran, is not Jesus. Why? Because Isa in the Quran is a son of a woman. Her name is Maryam, and and he have an uncle. His name is Aaron.
And who has a what?
His name is Aaron. Aaron, the brother of Moses, and Moses, you know, like, so there is a long, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years between Mary and Moses and Aaron. So how he became his uncle? The Muslim, they try to defend that. They say the prophet said that they used to call them by their ancestor, but Mary, she is not from the ancestor of Aaron. She is from different tribe. That is stupid to say. Secondly, the Muslim believe that the father of Moses and the father of Aaron, because they are brother, both of them, they have a father. His name is Umran, and this is what Mary father in the Quran name is, Umran. So obviously Muhammad, the false prophet, he was teaching his followers that Mary, she is the sister of Aaron. Why? Because he heard from the Jews. If we go in the Old Testament, we will see the Old Testament speaking about that there is a woman, her name is Maryam, and she is the sister of Aaron and the sister of Moses. So Muhammad, he got the conclusion, okay, Maryam is the mother of Jesus, she is the sister of Aaron, and their father, his name is Umran. And that is additional proof that Muhammad is a false prophet.
Oh well, I can see that plagiarism has taken over his pen.
Well, you know, it's not only that. I mean, this guy, he claimed knowledge, but he's like Muhammad Hijab was debating David Wood. Elijah mean God is with us. You know?
Yeah.
So if this guy now, he claimed to be a prophet, the Muslim will believe it and they will repeat it until somebody get them busted.
True. Yeah. You repeat a lie too many times, and it becomes a truth afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, you believe in the lie.
Oh well, listen, CP, thank you very much again. And listen, you've really shown me another path. I don't want to keep you too long, but I mean, obviously that threw me off. Once you start mentioning about the orphans and the section that happens afterwards, it's not for me. So yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you that you decide to leave Islam, and I will be happy more if you call me soon to say to me, I would like to accept the Messiah, so we can share happiness with you.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
Take care, my friend.
All the best. Okay, bye.
All right. Hello.
Yes, Christian Prince. How are you doing?
I'm fine. You will say to me something useful, Sheikh Tala, about what we are talking about?
Yes. First thing I would like to do is to say hi to everybody, and if I tell you that I lost a family member, you don't have to make fun of me.
We are sorry for hearing that, if this is true.
For that, I don't lie. So I lost a family member,
Okay.
And I was calling around.
My friend, what will happen to a family member who is who die according to Islam?
If you do the right thing, you're going to heaven. If you do the wrong thing, you're going to hell.
No. No. What is the thing will happen to him after he die, my friend? Let me repeat the question. After a person he die is a Muslim, what will happen? Is it true that there's angels will come to you in the grave and they will ask you 3 questions?
What I'm telling you is, whatever do good, you'd say it.
This is not my question, my friend. No. Is it true that angels will come to you and they will ask you 3 questions? Yes or no?
The judgment day, you will be judged. I'm quoting you the Quran.
That is not the question. That is not the question. See, you see, Tala, you told me why I block you. I ask you about something, you answer about something else. What will happen to you when you go in the grave after death? According to Islam, is it true that 2 angels will come to you and they will ask you 3 questions, and if you don't give the right answer, they will hit you with the hammer?
I'm telling you what Allah is telling me in the Quran. If
see, you keep repeating the same thing. You keep repeating the same thing. You did not even say this is true or not true. Is it true?
Why?
Is it true, my friend? Is it true?
Why?
Is it true or not? Is it true that your God, your prophet, he said to you that in the grave 2 angels will come to you and they will ask you 3 questions, and if you don't answer correctly, they will hit you with the hammer, which is made from steel? Yes or no?
You asked me a crystal clear question. It's recorded. I'm recording. You said, what happened to somebody if they died?
Right. Before you go to heaven, there's a long process, because heaven is in the judgment day. After you die, what will happen?
Grown up.
After die, what will happen? After you die, what will happen? You go to the grave, right?
Oh my God.
Do you go to heaven right away after you die? Do you go to the grave right away or to the heaven?
I'm having 2 seconds. You're having 27 seconds. Can you let me talk? Can you be a?
How many times I need to repeat my question in order to make you talk? How many times I need to repeat the same question? Why it is so hard for you to tell me the answer?
I'm telling you what happened to a dead person, but you don't let me talk.
Okay, let us see if you want to talk. Because you repeated the same answer 100 times already. You answered already. You said to me, we'll go to heaven. You go to heaven. I said to you, this is not the question. You keep saying the same thing over and over. What's wrong with you? How many times I said to you, this is not the question. This is not the question. This is not the question. After you die, what will happen? After you die, you don't go to heaven right away. You go to the grave.
Yes.
Okay, what will happen in the grave? What will happen in the grave?
The grave, you sit there till your soul.
Okay.
Your soul are in the grave. Your body gonna roll up. The body is not nothing. There's no body in Jannah. There's no body in heaven.
But this is not the question. Is it true? Is it true that angels will come to you and they will ask you questions? Yes or no? And they will hit you with the hammer. They will hit you with the hammer if you don't give the correct answer.
It's crazy, man. Can you let me talk though? Why are you talking 90%?
Here we go.
99%?
Here we go.
Please let me answer.
Go ahead, answer.
I cannot say 3 words. I say
really?
I say 2 words. You're gonna cut me off.
Everybody is laughing at you. You are avoiding the question. No, go ahead. Okay, answer.
You're being a kid.
Okay,
they're laughing.
Okay, answer. What is it true? Is it true that the angels will come to you with the hammer? Yes or no?
I'm telling you, I go by the Quran. I don't care what the hadith say. The Quran say you die.
You are a Quran only. You are a Quran only.
I am with the Quran and everything that does not contradict the Quran. The word of Allah.
Where this is contradicted the Quran? Isn't it the Quran says that when you go to the grave, Allah is going to make you blind, and He will. Let us see what the Quran is saying to you. I will show you on the screen. Can you see my screen or no?
No, but I'm gonna try this too. Give me 1 second. I'll go back to YouTube. The thing is, if I'm using the same phone, if I go to YouTube, I don't know if the sound is gonna be.
I want you to read for me. I want you to read for me chapter 20, verse number 125.
That's the 20 you said. the 20 was 125. Does it ever occur to you, or does it ever occur? 125, right? No, this is 128. 125, you said, right? He will say, "My Lord, why did you summon me blind when I used to be a seer?" What is it about?
What is that? You tell me. You said you believe in the Quran, right? What is that? Explain to me. What is that?
Why you making me not see while I used to be seeing?
But this is about when?
I don't read the context. You tell me.
You tell me. You are the Muslim. Here we go. You said to me you believe in the Quran only. I'm asking you now. What is that?
Yes, it's a verse. I read it. I understood the verse.
Okay, tell me what is the verse saying?
The verse said, the man, whoever they are, they said, "Allah, why did you make me blind while I used to be seeing?" You asked me to read it. I read it.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means that you used to be seeing, now you're blind. You don't see.
Why? What happened exactly? What happened? This is what happened. What happened?
What happened? I can go back to the context.
Okay, it says if I gave you verses in the Quran and you forget them, do you remember the Quran, all of it?
I can't remember the whole Quran. It's 6,000.
But the Quran saying, the Quran saying, if you don't memorize all the Quran, Allah will torture you.
Allah didn't say that.
Read the verse after it.
Nowhere in the world.
Read it. Read the verse after it. Verse 126. Right, read the verse 126. Read it, my friend. Read it.
I will.
Okay.
They will say, because we forgot our revelation. When they come to us, you are now forgotten. Because we forgot about the Quran. We did not use the Quran. You didn't say memorize the whole Quran. Don't be inventing. You are inventing and lying every day. Got caught.
So it says because you do not memorize the Quran, right? You forgot the Quran.
No.
It says that. It says.
No.
Okay. Does it say because my friend, okay, you forgot our what is it? Does it say ayah? Does it say the word ayah? You don't speak Arabic, right? It says ayah. Does it say ayah? What ayah mean?
Let me read it. Ayah means the revelation.
Revelation. So did you remember all the revelation of Allah?
I said you can't remember all the revelation of Allah.
So Allah will torture you if you don't remember the revelation.
No, Allah didn't say that.
It says
not forgetting it means you are not using it. You put it aside.
Okay, you are using it. Okay, Allah he said in the Quran. Allah he said in the Quran, you do muta. Do you practice muta?
Allah never said you practice muta. You invented it out.
Okay, we go to chapter 4. We go to chapter 4, verse number 2. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's see if this is I am inventing. Here we go. Chapter 4, verse number 24. Does it say that? And if you don't believe me, here we go. I will go and I will open.
I can read.
Okay, read. Go ahead. You said there's no muta. Everybody is laughing at you because every Muslim agree that the Quran taught the muta. Everybody is laughing at you. Everybody is laughing at you. Officially.
Let me read it. Okay. Let me read it. Let the world hear it.
Okay.
So just be quiet and let me read it.
Okay.
Also prohibited are the women who are already married. Unless, already married. You can't marry a married woman, right? Unless they flee their disbelieving husbands who are at war with you. Unless they flee the woman, they flee the disbelieving husbands who are in war with you. Those are God's commandments to you. All other categories are permitted for you in marriage. All other categories. I just heard you saying you cannot marry Christian.
My friend, let me show you how funny you are. Okay, It says how it says. Hold on. How it says forbidden for you married women if this is about marriage. If this is about marriage, forbidden for you to marry married women. This is what the verse
Yes,
saying, right?
you cannot.
Okay. So forbidden for you to marry married women except you rent her process. You can sleep with them, right?
I said, now,
my friend, it's forbidden for you. It's forbidden for you to have sex, not to marry, because you cannot marry a married woman. You cannot. You see how full you are. You cannot marry a married woman except who? There's exception for the married women. Except who? Except your captive. So you Muslims, you can rape your captive. And then he continue. Read with me in the screen. It says you can go and do an agreement with any women of your wish, of your choice, additional to the slaves. There's a woman, a Muslim woman, she agreed to sleep with you for agreed period of time and agreed money. Read with me. Zawaj al-muta. Do you see it in the screen? Do you see it in the screen? Yes or no?
I told you I'm facing the book. I cannot. I'm on my phone right now.
I don't care. I don't care. This is in the screen. It says that this is Zawaj al-muta. Everybody in the world knows that Zawaj al-muta. Let me ask you, make it simple. You see, this is why I say I don't want to talk to you, because you act like a kid. Did you hear ever about Zawaj al-muta? Yes or no? Did you hear ever about Zawaj al-muta? Yes or no?
Let me read the verse.
Did you hear ever before about Zawaj al-muta? Yes or no? Did you hear about it before? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I did.
Okay, where's the Zawaj al-muta coming from? As long you heard, I want to go with your logic. Where's the Zawaj al-muta teaching coming from? Teach me.
I started the verse. Finish the verse. If you're honest,
my friend, where's the Zawaj al-muta is coming from? I am honest. I am showing Ibn Abbas. This is the cousin of your prophet. You are the one who is not honest. I'm showing this is your official Islamic website, the Kingdom of Jordan, and this is the cousin of your prophet, Ibn Abbas, and this is the translation made by the Muslims. Who is the one is not honest, me or you?
I'm reading it. I start reading it. 2 sentences. You cut me off. You want to let me finish.
Okay, read it. Here we go.
Okay.
So tell me, the muta is coming from where? What is the source of muta in Islam?
Oh my God! Can you let
I want an answer. No, you don't. You know, I know you. You are a kid. You never answer anything. We start talking about the grave. What will happen in the grave, and look what we're in, because you never answer anything. So I'm asking you. Zawaj al-muta, you said you heard about Zawaj al-muta. It's coming from where in Islam? If it's not from the Quran, it's coming from where?
These are God's commandment to you. All other categories are permitted for
Abdul,
you.
where is Zawaj al-muta? Don't force me to hang up on you. I'm losing my voice. I don't want to repeat myself. Where is Zawaj al-muta is coming for in Islam? Is it coming from the hadith or from the Quran? I want you to give me a clear answer, please.
I'm telling you, muta is in the Quran. Muta has been interpreted as something different. Arabs are doing whatever they want.
This is not the question. I'm asking you, where the muta teaching in Islam coming from? Is it from the hadith or from the Quran? Either you say to me from the hadith or you say from the Quran.
I said muta. The word muta is in the Quran.
Okay, which verse? Which verse? Which verse? Which verse? Which verse?
Oh my goodness.
Which verse?
Oh my goodness.
Which verse? The one says muta.
What is your problem, man?
Which verse saying the word muta? You just said the word muta coming from the Quran. Which verse in the Quran saying the muta?
This is ridiculous.
Which verse in the Quran saying muta, my friend? Is it a chapter 4 verse 24? Yes or no? Is it a chapter 4 verse 24? The one I'm showing on the screen? Yes or no?
You don't want me to read it. I tried 100 times.
I am asking you where we can find the word muta in the Quran. You said the word muta is in the Quran. Which verse in the Quran?
Let me read in Arabic.
This is not the question. Right. You see, don't make me hang up on you. You are a kid. You are a kid who have no diaper, and your poo is all over yourself. Are you going to answer where we can find the word muta in the Quran? Which verse?
424.
424. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, the word muta is in the Quran and coming from a chapter 4 verse 24. And this is the interpretation. And so we asked you, did you hear about before the word muta? You said yes. I said to you, so you know about it. You said yes. Okay, where we can find it? Finally, you said in chapter 4 verse 24. Okay, what muta mean?
I'm trying to read the verse for 20 minutes. You don't want to let me read the damn verse.
We did
Let me read
already.
the verse.
We did already. What is the muta mean? Go
No,
ahead.
I didn't.
What
I
is
mean
the
2 words.
what is the muta mean?
You're not gonna let me do it. I am reading in English for people to hear, but you
Okay,
let
I
me.
want you to read it and explain it. I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
That's what I started 20 minutes ago. You kept on cutting me off because you're a kid. Simple as that. You listen. I read the verse right now for you. 4:24. You're talking about being a kid. Now I'm gonna have to start all over. Okay, I'm restarting over again. Also prohibited are the women who are already married, unless they flee their disbelieving husbands who are at war with you. You are at war, your woman flee from you, they don't want you anymore, they don't want to submit to Allah, they came to us, flee, and yes, we consider them divorced, they can marry other people and have another life. These are God's commandments to you. All other categories are permitted for you in marriage, so long as you pay their due dowries. You, in Islam, before you marry anybody, you gotta have to pay what they call a dowry. You gotta have to pay it. That's God's Allah recommendation. You cannot just come and see somebody. Okay, we just know marriage is sacred. So you shall maintain your morality by not committing adultery. Thus, whoever you like among them, you shall pay the dowry decree for them. You cannot just sleep with somebody without marrying them. You commit no error by mutually agreeing for any adjustment to the dowry. Okay, I don't have it right now. I know the dowry is $100. I don't have it right now. I give you 50, and within the time, if I try to save $10 a month, whatever I can save, and I give it to you. But I owe you that.
You know, my friend,
God,
I went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and still you did not give me the answer. I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and as I was expecting, you would talk and you would say nothing. I want you to tell me what interpretation for the verse you like me to read for you. What scholar you like? Give me a name, please.
I just read an interpretation.
What interpretation of who? Of who?
Does it matter? It's Arabic.
Yeah,
right?
it's matter. It's matter. You know, read the interpretation for me. Who is a scholar? Who is a scholar? I want to read it with you. Who is the name of the scholar? His name was Zakir Naik, potato, tomato. Who's he?
Rashad Khalifa.
Rashad Khalifa, you are not a Muslim. You are a follower of Rashad Khalifa. Rashad Khalifa, he cut the Quran pieces. He took verses from the Quran. That's why the Muslims killed him. You are a follower of Rashad Khalifa? You are a follower of Rashad Khalifa? You are a follower of Rashad Khalifa, aren't you? Aren't you a follower of Rashad Khalifa? How you explain Rashad Khalifa? Hold on. I want you to give me. I want you to give me the link of Rashad Khalifa interpretation, please.
Go to please let me talk.
You know what? You just said to me. You just said to me. You did read Rashad Khalifa interpretation in Arabic. Do you know Arabic? You just said to me. You did read Rashad Khalifa interpretation in Arabic. Do you know Arabic?
You want me to read it in Arabic?
Go ahead.
I do it. I do it in Arabic if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Not a big deal.
Read Rashad Khalifa in Arabic, please. Go ahead.
Okay. That's all you had to ask, brother. It's not 424, right? Oh my goodness. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والمحصنات من الناس.
Read the interpretation for me. You are not reading Arabic. I know what you are reading. You are reading in the language where it make you pronounce the words as if it is Arabic. Read the interpretation of Rashad Khalifa in Arabic for me. You said to me.
That's what I'm reading.
No, you are not. You are reading what?
The translation in I'm reading. I just read it in English. Now you want me to read it in Arabic, right?
I want you to read in Arabic. Yeah, go ahead. The interpretation, correct?
The verse itself in Arabic.
No, the interpretation of Rashad Khalifa. You said to me, you did read it for me, Rashad Khalifa interpretation. I want you to read it for me.
That's what I just read in English.
Okay. No, you said to me, you know Arabic.
No, I said I can read the verse in Arabic. I can give you the interpretation.
How you can read the verse in Arabic, but you don't? How you can read the verse in Arabic, but you don't speak Arabic?
Oh my God!
Do you speak Arabic?
So,
speak to me in Arabic. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I'm not speak. I can read the Quran.
So how you can read in Arabic? What the point of reading for me the Quran in Arabic if you do not know Arabic? Obviously, you are reading letters which resemble the sound of Arabic. You do not know Arabic.
Okay, now
listen. Okay, listen. Okay, you said you said you are a follower of Rashad Khalifa. Is Rashad Khalifa is a Muslim?
Rashad Khalifa, yes, he's a Muslim.
But isn't it him who cut verses from the Quran off to make what is called miracle number 19? He said that the Quran have additional verses not true.
He did say that.
Yes, he did. That's why the Muslims killed him.
Okay, so what?
So you agree? Do you agree with him?
Muslim killed messengers, right?
No. Okay, so the Muslim they killed the messengers?
Yes.
So he's a messenger of Allah.
I'm just saying it's in the Quran that some messengers have been killed,
my
right?
My friend. Okay, who are the messengers who were killed in the Quran?
I don't know the name, but
Allah said messengers got killed. What kind of God? Your God who says these messengers are killed, but he cannot give us a name?
Why would he give a name?
Why you want to mention them? You know, Allah have time to tell us about the ant who was speaking to the ant, but he cannot mention a prophet name who was killed.
Does it matter? Is it relevant?
Yeah, it's matter. Yeah, it's matter because very important to know who is a prophet who was killed. Who is the prophet who was killed?
You are talking about irrelevant things.
My friend, no, we are. You see, listen. You are a joker and you have no idea, and you are not a Muslim. By saying to me that you are a follower of Rashad Khalifa, you admit that you are a false Muslim. There's no Muslim in the world. I want everybody to remember this guy. His name is Sheikh Talha. All the Muslims. He is a follower of Rashad Khalifa, and all. If we search right now, is Rashad Khalifa is a kafir or not? You will see all the Muslims agree he is. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
That's a lie.
All right. Let us see. We will see if this is a lie or not. All right. Rashad Khalifa, he claimed that he is a messenger, and you said that the Muslim they killed messenger, right? So you agree that he's a messenger. Is that correct?
He's a messenger.
He is a messenger. Okay. So isn't it your prophet? He said he is the last one.
He never said that. Allah said he's the last prophet, not a messenger.
So Rashad Khalifa. So what the difference between a prophet and messenger?
Oh, you want to go there? Yeah. We can debate.
How you can be a messenger but you are not a prophet?
Yes, you can.
Explain to me.
Because okay. I'm gonna tell you what's a messenger and what's a prophet, right?
Okay.
Allah said, I know that right now the understanding of the Sunnis or of the regular Muslims is that every messenger is a prophet, right?
Every messenger is a prophet.
Right. That's what they're saying, right?
No, tell me what you believe yourself. You know how a messenger can be a messenger of God, but yet he is not a prophet. Explain to me. Give me an example. Give me an example of somebody who is a messenger, but he's not a prophet. He did not prophesy. Give me an example.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Allah give us the list of the prophets.
This is not a question. Give me an example of a messenger who is not a prophet. Please don't go around in the bushes. Give me a name of a messenger. He is a messenger, but not a prophet from Islam and the Quran.
1 second.
I don't hear you.
I said, give me 1 second. I will give
you 1 year. No problem.
Okay. The first thing I would like to, I can give you the list of every prophet. Allah
no. This is, see, don't play games again. Here we go. We can jump in like monkeys. Give me a name of a messenger which is not a prophet in Islam, please. Just one name. He is a messenger, but he is not a prophet. Go ahead.
It's not a big deal.
I'm waiting. Can you find me one?
No.
Who is a messenger but not a prophet?
Okay, just give me 1 second. Don't be rushing.
Look like
All
you
right.
cannot. You don't even remember one. You have to search.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay, do this here.
Don't make buzz in my nose, in my ears, please. You know, come on. Just
Okay.
read in your heart and tell me the answer. Who is the messenger? Who is a messenger but not a prophet? Give me a name.
I will give anybody else other than these people. These people are everybody else other than Ibrahim, Ishaq, David, no.
My friend, you see how stupid you are? You are forcing me to insult you. I give me the name of a messenger who is not a prophet.
I am facing the name of the 18 prophets.
This is not the question. I'm not
sent
asking you to
those.
name for me the prophet. I said to you, name for me one messenger who is a messenger, but yet he is not a prophet. Make it why your God, he sent 124,000 prophets. Are you going to name them for me? Give me one messenger who is a messenger, but yet he is not a prophet.
Give me 1 second. Now you're about to get it.
It's coming.
You're
It's
about
coming.
to get that. Yaqub Zakaria.
Idris. Okay, what Idris? Who is Idris? Idris is a messenger, remember, right?
Right.
Okay, what Idris did? Tell me the story of Idris. Who is Idris?
Listen to me. Don't. We have a debate.
Abdul, let me get you busted. You are a stupid idiot.
debate.
This is the Quran, chapter 19, verse number 56. It says that Idris was a prophet. Why you are a donkey? Does it say in the front of you that Idris was a prophet? Yes or no?
Hold on.
Hold on. You said, everybody heard you. You said that Idris, he is a messenger but not a prophet. The Quran says the opposite.
No, hold on. Yes. Oh, just hold on. Hold on. To make it simple, Allah told us about 25.
My friend, don't change the topic. You said Idris is a messenger, not a prophet. Everybody is laughing at you. Why you lie? The Quran in the front of us, chapter 19, verse number 56. It says Idris is a prophet. Your God Allah was wrong or was right?
Right. You're right. I read it wrong over here. You're right. Right.
Okay, we go back to zero. Right. We go back to zero. No problem. You are forgiven. Give me a name of a messenger who is a messenger but not a prophet. Go ahead.
Okay. Now listen to me. Listen to me. To make it simple, right here. Right. You want to know which person is not? I got a list here of 18. Just 18 people.
I don't care. Give me a name. Give me a name of a messenger who is not a prophet. He is a messenger, right now, but not a prophet. Go ahead.
You know what I'm trying to do? I know there is not 6 people that are messengers in the Quran that are not prophet. I'm trying to go through the list.
Just get lost. I'm losing my voice, guys. I keep repeating my. You see, same question. We have to repeat it 1,000 times, and they will not read. I mean, this is how stupid this cult is. The Muslim believe that there is people who they are messengers but not a prophet. We say to them, we can name one. They cannot. Stupid religion. Let your mom call me. Let the man of the house call. Show me. Silence me. Answer me. I know this is coming. You do not know Hebrew, you do not know Arabic. I know this is coming. Show me. Stupid people. What happened to you after you go to after death? Or you go to heaven? That's a lie. You don't go to heaven in Islam, you go to the grave, and 3 angels will beat you with the hammer. I mean, this is a joke. What a liar you are. Shame on you. They are liar with certification of stupidity. I mean, can you find me one Muslim he is not doing his best to lie? The Muslim, they don't do their best to answer, they do their best to lie. This is my experience with the Muslims. I never saw a Muslim doing his best to answer. It's just a chain of lying. How much we can lie? That is the question. How much we can lie before we get busted?